All right, this is the electrical system on the FJ Cruiser. Kind of go through it real quick. Obviously, the primary battery is over there. It came with a Odyssey battery default when I got the car. So the things that I've added though is I added obviously a secondary battery because we got a fridge and some other electrical gear in here. And then we got a Red Arc BCDC 1240. Difference really between the BCDC 1240 and the isolator that you can get here in the United States is the isolator just takes the power from your alternator and actually comes off your battery and says, hey, you've got 12 volts over here, I'll power your secondary battery. Your BCDC, if you kind of look at it over here, it's got 3 modes. I don't know if you can get on top of it here real quick. You got 3 modes. You got a boost mode, an absorption mode, and a float mode. So the boost mode takes the 12 volts that you normally get off of a battery. It boosts it up to a higher voltage so that it can charge this up to its highest peak. Then there's an absorption there where it kind of looks at it and says, okay, what do I need to do? And float, it just keeps it at that constant topped offness per se. That being said, the other isolators don't. Supposedly, with the Red Arc 1240, this will keep the battery for quite a long period of time because it's always keeping it floated, always keeping it charged. Also, the 1240 has a solar panel hookup. So this comes with a solar panel hookup. I ran some wiring down through here. And here on the Toyota, on the 2 O's, you'll see there's 2 hookups for your solar panel, right? So 2 solar panel goes to the BCDC. What it looks at is, hey, if I got solar panel, let me use solar panel power. If the car is on, let me go ahead and use the power secondary. Well, I'll be use power from the battery and the alternator. If the power is turned off, I'm gonna segregate this starting battery all by itself so that we never run down the starting battery, so we can always turn it on. It also comes with obviously 120 watt solar panel. 120 watt solar panel is about 800 bucks. Comes with it. It has, I just shortened the plugs because it was easier to fold up. It has the 2 plugs that plug in there, but I have a 30-foot extension cord that comes on here that plugs onto this end and then plugs into the front of these 2 O's that runs that. I've gone about a week without any charge, having the fridge go full time, and we had a little TV up on the pop-up, and we never ran the battery down at all. So this pretty much charges everything you'll need in the car, obviously. All right, so obviously the electrical system's only as good as what it charges. So what I try to do is separate the electrical system from the primary battery. So the secondary battery runs all the electronics, aftermarket electronics, in the vehicle. I'll start kind of where the power comes in. If you guys end up buying this one, there is a panel here at the very bottom, and what it has a marine grade fuse panel. It has 12 different fuses on it. I think I've used about 6 or 7. I'll kind of walk them through here in just a second. And what that does is it isolates 2 different things. It isolates the interior electronics from the secondary battery. If anything happens to be overloaded, it's going to trip one of those fuses. You have to replace the fuse. And also, then it also keeps all electronics on separated from the primary source as well. So two different electrical systems. The outlets that I ended up putting in here, one was for my iPad Pro. It's a double USB port. And also for the CB radio as well, sitting off the secondary. There is another outlet, cigarette lighter outlet that you can obviously plug in and plug something else in, sitting in the dash, or I don't know, console-ish area that happens to be there. And also I have a Wii Boost, which is a cell phone amplifier running off it. You can kind of see the internal antenna. I don't know if you can see that from here. There's an internal antenna that runs right here. So it's really for the passenger and kind of shoots over to where the primary driver is. It amplifies the signal when you're on a cell phone piece. The iPad's not included in this, so no iPad. The iPad holder is. The CB iPad holder probably about, I think, was $125. CB plus the CB antenna and some of the stuff in the back that I'll look at, I think was around 800 bucks. The Wii Boost was $550. It's the Wii Boost X. A lot of RVs, campers utilize that as well. And then obviously some of the other gear, electronic gear in here is another probably about $400 or $500 if you guys are calculating the aftermarket stuff. I think when you tally it up, I probably have about $20,000 worth of gear aftermarket on this vehicle, and obviously we're not selling it for that much when you start looking at it that way. That being said, let's go to the back and I'll walk you through what we got back there. All right, here in the back, we've got a fridge that comes with it. And I also have a stove, which I'll show here at some other point. But really I want to highlight the electrical system. In the back we've got 2 cigarette lighters. The first cigarette lighter I have attached to your stove. The second one, I have an extension cord, and what I utilize this one for is I plug this in, and it has a 20-foot waterproof extension cord that goes up into the tent. That allows me to use that iPad Pro for my TV when we're watching a movie or something along those lines at night, and it's pretty cool. The FJ Cruiser does come with a normal socket down there that you can see, but this runs off the primary battery. So if you're going to blend something, or you happen to bring a hair dryer, whatever you want to utilize, you can utilize this. I do recommend you turning your engine on, because I just don't like to use the primary battery source if I don't have to. Try to use the secondary. You can hook a an inverter into one of the secondary systems as well, and from that inverter you can obviously run any appliances that uses a normal plug. That being said, that's kind of the electrical system. We'll move on to something else. All right, I'm going to try to talk about all the aftermarket parts in the front of this car. I'm probably going to screw some stuff up, or I'll miss some stuff, but here we go. There's a Trailworks front bumper here. I think it went for like $1,200 bucks. I can't remember off the top of my head. It's a tough, mean looking bumper, which is nice. I also have a TGM winch here, which does have a remote control, and to turn it on there is a switch here in the engine bay. That's why I have the engine bay open. So you switch on the yellow switch, you'll know it's on because there'll be a blue light. I don't know if you can see that where we're at. And then there's a remote control here, which is nice, that goes up and down. If the remote control's out of batteries, there is another hookup right here that's with the car that you can bring it up and down as well. 10,000 pounds. Hook yourself up to skyscraper, pull yourself up, no problem. All right, what else do we got? I have a lighting system as well. You get a flat tire in the middle of the night, there's a lighting system that will flick on LED lights that shine from here, that shine kind of really on the tire itself. So you can go ahead and change your tire in the middle of the night if need be. Also, internal is a snorkel system. So there's a snorkel kit that goes from here for your air intake over to this side, and then your external snorkel as well that goes up to here. We've had this in the water a couple times. Actually, there's a video on my page, sean.nicola@gmail.com, on YouTube, where you'll see Karen kind of go through about, I'd say, 4 foot of water. We didn't need the snorkel, but it was fun. I haven't really gotten it up too high for a snorkel. This is the front. I think that's about it here in the front. Oh, before you go, take off. I do want to talk about this. I talked about the WeBoost cell phone extender. Supposedly awesome. I put it right here. Probably not the smartest thing. I did use these cool aluminum brackets. They're about $150 a piece. I do keep my ladder sometimes out here for my rooftop tent, but it can also fit in the rooftop tent. It depends what I have in there. Sometimes I like to buy another foam 6-inch cushion that I put in there with some pillows and some blankets. And to put the ladder up in there as well, it's just not going to shut. So if that's the case, I put the ladder here. If I have that stuff out, which I do right now, the ladder sits in the rooftop tent. That being said, these same aluminum attachments hook up to the WeBoost antenna. This WeBoost antenna piece comes off, and if I was going to do it over again, or I was keeping this vehicle, I'd move this to the back, to the Baja rack piece, back bar. They fit on there. 1 inch in diameter. I'll put it in the back bar over by the antenna. And the reason being is there's some interference from this to the internal antenna that happens to be sitting right through that windshield. So I'm not getting all the power for the $550 that I spent on this sucker. Plus this is an aftermarket antenna, another $100 bucks. So about $650 I'd say. And I'm not getting all the power that I can get out of it. If I stick it over there, I'm gonna get a heck of a lot more juice, according to the WeBoost people, when I called them and I said, hey, it's not performing the way it should. That being said, this is the front. Let's go ahead and move over to the suspension. All right, so it's getting a little bit warm out here, so I'm starting to sweat. I'll kind of talk about the tires of suspension here. We have about 33s, and I think really bottom to top is sitting at about 42 inches. So if you're looking for clearance on what you can get on this vehicle. The tires, actually I've had this vehicle probably about a little bit over a year, and I haven't changed the tires yet. They are Wrangler MTR 2000s, which has some Kevlar in it, so you don't get the puncturing if you're running over something sharp. That being said, they are, I'd say probably about at least 20, maybe 30,000 miles sitting on these suckers. And there's probably a little bit of a, I took them in today to kind of look at it because I have a shake going on around 70 miles an hour. It's not bad, but I can feel the vibration. I kind of used to the vehicle. And the guy said, hey, it could be one or two of these tires you're going to have to end up replacing. So just so you know, 20 to 30,000 miles on these suckers. They're great for off-roading and beating them up, but you might want to, if you're driving it every day, you might want to switch out some of the tires. That being said, let's go through the suspension. We've got body armor, and I got this with the vehicle, so if I screw this up, I'm gonna have to apologize. I've got some orange iodized body armor that it covers the whole stinking bottom. So we got front and back, over struts, everything else. Our suspension is, I believe, all Fox or iPro or All Pro, and you can kind of see that sitting in here. I will have a list of stuff on this item. There's probably about $4,000 worth of just body armor and suspension that happens to be sitting on here, and I'll just show a list down there, and you can kind of go through and figure out what I've got on the vehicle. Guys, we on? All right, guys. So this is kind of the back here. I've got a MetalTech bumper, and it swings out. It's got a nice little red hinge right here that pops out, and then there is a handle, the normal Toyota handle that you pull, and that sucker opens up. So nice bumper. When you're shutting it, what I do anyways is one hand on here, one hand on the handle, and I just kind of give it a nice little touch. This locks. Push this down right here and close that sucker off. This doesn't come standard with the MetalTech. It actually comes with two of these, and I'll give you the other gas can that it comes with. It has some gas in it right now, but it comes with this one and another one. I ended up buying this one from same people that I bought off the fridge pull-out drawer. I can't remember who they are, but it did come with a cap, and I lost the cap. So you're going to get a water container without a cap. Obviously there's a water spigot. I cut out the edge here so you don't have to take this thing off and pour each time, so you can just get onto the tap, turn on and off. The reason I lost this is the cap always comes off. I have a shower thing that drops into here, sticks onto the side. It'll come with the vehicle, so you can kind of take a shower, right? And the water is pulled from here, and it uses that secondary port in there to suck the water out and shoot it at you. Obviously we took a shower, we must have put the cap down, we drove off, thus no cap. I also customized this, and I put a gas grill in here. It's going to come with this the stove that's sitting over there. I might as well show it real quick. It is a Camp Chef stove, right? And so you're going to need, it comes with one of those small green propane tanks. That being said, that wasn't going to do. When we were sitting out, we were in Colorado for about a month. I don't want to have to be going to the store and try to fill that sucker up. So I just wanted to use a normal propane tank. So we welded a piece of metal on here, rounded the corners on it, spray painted it, customized it for a propane tank. Got the same little red handles that we're utilizing down here. And I've got locks on them as well, just so someone's walking by, they just can't pull it off and take off. It does come with a spare tire. Same sort of tire, doesn't have any miles on it, so it has nice little bumps sitting on it. So if you end up getting the same tires, you can utilize this one, and maybe utilize one of those as your spare. Like I said, MetalTech. It does also come with a high lift jack on the bottom. So there you go with that. Anything else in the back here? Obviously a trailer bumper. It has lights as well, hooked up. Oops, hooked up there in the back. I'll get that in a second. Here's the CB antenna. It comes with that ball joint right on here as well, so that it doesn't wreck your antenna plug running back in there. Also going to come with my shovel and my axe. Great for getting stuck or something. You got to shove yourself out. You happen to have one of those, an axe. I've utilized them for, we dug a toilet one day, and then obviously I cut some fire when we were on our trip. That is attached to the Baja rack. The Baja rack's about $2,000, I think. Yeah, the Baja rack is a better rack than what comes with the FJ Cruiser, especially if you're having a rooftop tent. The other racks have a lot of drag and they sit up a little bit higher, so you get some wind underneath there. This one's really low profile, sits pretty low to the FJ Cruiser, so you don't get the wind, and it has a front wind barrier. I'll kind of show that real quick. Yeah, so it's got a front wind guard, I guess it's called. All right, so when the wind hits it, it kind of goes up. If not, some of the other one, the one that comes custom with the FJ Cruiser sits a little bit higher and doesn't have that wind guard, and I definitely felt it not having the Baja rack, so I switched over to the Baja rack. That's it for right now. Okay, so I'll talk about the rooftop tent real quick. It's a James Baroud Grand XXL. I think they come I think they're from France. And it's the EVO. And there's a couple reasons I ended up getting this rooftop tent, looked at all of them. One is my wife's with me, and she didn't want lions or tigers or bears to get her. The other ones are all cloth. This is the only one that is hard shell tent, fiberglass tent. So we ended up getting that. The other reason is it's XXL. I'm a big guy. I'm 6'3", 220-ish. My wife's sleeping with me. I got to be able to stretch out and not have my feet or my head touching. This one I actually can do that, lay and put my hands above me and not even touch my hands. So it's probably about 80, I think it's 84 inches long, maybe 90 inches long. You can look it up on their website. It is the XXL. You can kind of see that at the very top. Really simple to set up. That's the third reason. There's 4 latches. We'll walk through that right now. You pinch them, you pull it down, it pops up. It has struts inside, so as soon as you pop it up, it's going to lift up the tent. And we'll walk through the 4 handles. One sits right here. Obviously this closes up, latches on there. You can see the latch on the top, you pop it off. So we got 1 here, we've got 2 in the front. Right there. I did talk about this sitting on the Baja rack. Nice flat surface there. And then the last one is on this side. And so what we usually do, just so you guys can get it, this a little bit dirty, this was sitting on the front, you can tell we have some bug splatter on the ladder. The ladder kind of attaches on either side, left side or this right side that we happen to be on. It has some clips here at the very top. You clip in your ladder into it so it's stabilized and you can get up there. Great ventilation. There's 4 different windows, the same size as this one right here on each side, so you get a cross breeze and a front to back breeze. There is a solar panel on the top of this one. It has a little bit of has a fan at the bottom that powers that, so you don't have to have any battery. And I use the iPad Pro. Go ahead and walk up there, Osh, and so you can kind of see the inside as well. I use the iPad Pro. There's a net on the very top of this, and I hook up the iPad Pro up there so we can watch movies when we're camping. So that's pretty much it. Look up the specs on their website. All the reviews say this is probably the top of the line one. I would say in total maybe 3,400, 3,300 is what I purchased it for, and that was about 6 months ago. All right, so let me talk a little bit about the back here. Obviously the fridge and the stove, we kind of talked about that. This is an 80-liter Dometic fridge, and I also have a front rudder pull-out. Kind of nice, instead of having to try to reach in here and try to open the fridge, which is near impossible with an 80-liter. You can, there's a little button right here on the side, pulls up, and the sucker slides right on out, right? So then you can open your fridge, pull out your drinks, your food. This fridge does come with a fridge department and a freezer department. To tell you the truth, on the freezer side, I couldn't keep, either I could keep the whole thing frozen or I could keep the whole thing cold, but it's supposed to have both. Doesn't really work that way, at least not with this brand. But it's nice. It actually keeps it really cool. It's heavy duty, insulated. These things run forever. What else do we got back here? The stove fits perfectly here. I couldn't go any bigger on these front rudder slide out and have a stove in here, so I kind of measured it out, and it fits perfectly for both. I have a Tuffy built let me run through prices here real quick. 450, I think this is 800, and I think this is about 325, 350, somewhere in there, for those three prices. The Tuffy built drawer, I believe, is 700 bucks. Pull out, and I also got the organizers in here as well. A little bit dirty with some of the stuff that we have in here. We just got back from a camping trip out to Colorado. You can see that on my YouTube station. So that's it, kind of in the back. Oh, also there is a, there used to be, you want to get over here, Osh, real quick? There used to be, on the 2008, there was a subwoofer that sat back here. We took that sucker out. It wasn't that good of a subwoofer. That being said, there is a piece right here that the plastic is gone, because that's where the subwoofer used to sit. So we had to take that sucker out so I could store more gear. Also, I wanted to be able to lift this up and be able to slide in my chairs in this little hole and be able to get to my electrical system. With this Tuffy built, on the way it was sitting, this piece was completely closed. You couldn't get to here. And with that speaker system, I couldn't create a latch where I could lift this up and be able to utilize this space. So I had to take the subwoofer out. Obviously that's on this other side as well. Let me take this out real quick so you can see it. There's a basket on the left-hand side. Right now I'm storing my winch set up in it, but I do keep things in here, usually a fire extinguisher and some lights and that sort of stuff. And I did cut out the Tuffy built drawer to fit around this basket because I utilize this in and out. But this one as well, go ahead and open so I can stuff more gear. I don't know if you can see that or not, but you can put more gear in here with this device in this drawer. So that's that, kind of the end. I do have, I use my spices and that sort of stuff in here. Keep, you know, kind of spice rack, yada, yada, yada. Maybe some batteries, a flashlight, or what have you. But that's kind of that's the back. Let's move over to the front. All right, so I wanted to talk real quick about this, but to finish this out. We had both of these seats out of the car, just had a piece of plywood painted black. Didn't need all that information, but it is what it is. We put the seats back in. The problem is, if you are buying this car, there's only one seat in the back that is usable. This seat will work fine, but you'd have to take out the fridge to do so, because the fridge sticks out about 6 inches from the Tuffy built. So when this thing pops back up to fold back down, it's not going to work with this bad boy in. So if you actually need the whole back seat, you're going to have to sell the fridge and the slider to get them out of the vehicle. Just want to let you guys know that. If not, if you only need 2 people, it's a perfect spot to put your luggage. You do have some clips here that you can tie your luggage down on. That's about it. I think that pretty much wraps up the vehicle. I'm gonna have a list. I'll have a list on eBay of all the stuff. There's tons of gear I didn't talk about that's still in here, especially when it hits suspension and so forth. But for an FJ Cruiser 2008 Toyota, that's really about it that I can think of at this moment. All right.